There are a number of young men who look up to Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, who now I believe is in a Romanian prison for sex trafficking charges or something like that. But Tate went viral because he's contradicted a lot of aspects of woke culture, and he's very entertaining on camera. And it would seem to me, gets a number of things wrong, but he's far from the worst guy in the world, and he's very, very entertaining. So people look to him. Anyway, he said something a little weird the other day, and I'll put it in his own words.
I recently posted a question on Twitter asking, would you rather have sex with a transsexual, which is a legitimate 10, or a woman, which is a legitimate 1? And everyone's sitting there clicking woman, because they think they're going to be gay if they do anything else, but they're not actually thinking about the question. I am so smart. I operate on so many levels higher than the average man. You people are not thinking about the question. When I say a 1 and a 10, I mean Megan Fox with a d, that's the tranny. Or Hulk Hogan with a p, that's the girl. You need to operate on a higher plane. Think about this. This is important. This is cultural. This affects the world we now live in. What is straight? What is gay? It's all a big sliding spectrum, isn't it? Because if you're going to sit here and go, oh, no, it's gay to bang Megan Fox with a d, I counter that argument. It's gay to bang Hulk Hogan with a p. So which one is it?
Philosophy students will be debating this question for many ages to come, I'm sure. It's the new trolley dilemma. Do you pull the lever and then you go to Hulk Hogan with female parts, or do you push the lever and you go to Megan Fox with a male appendage? The problem with the hypothetical is that it is not believable. I know it's just a hypothetical, but it's not even hypothetically believable. And in fact, it accepts multiple premises of transgenderism, but one in particular, that men can ever really look like women, which they can. I don't care. You can have the best transgender surgery ever in the whole wide world. They still look like dudes. There have been people, ever since my CPAC speech, I've been flooded with all these messages from all these transgender activists of varying degrees of but the saddest ones are the ones who really believe that they're the opposite sex, and they're not just political activists using this ideology cynically, but they really believe it themselves and about themselves. And they'll post a picture, and it'll be some hulking dude with some hair and wearing a dress or something, and this guy will say, "Look at me. Do you really think that I'm a man? I'm a beautiful woman. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if I walked into the men's bathroom?" And I'd say, I can't imagine that because you look like a man. You all look like men. And you have body dysmorphia. And so you, like an anorexic who looks in the mirror and thinks that the anorexic is fat, you look in the mirror and you think that you're a woman, but you're not. So that's the reason that the hypothetical falls flat for me. That's one of them. There's the deeper reason why the hypothetical falls flat, or why Andrew Tate has arrived at the wrong answer in telling us, I guess, to sleep with men who think that they're women and identify as transsexual or whatever, is I think he's buying into his own rhetoric about the Matrix a little bit too much. What is underlying Tate's conclusion is that appearance is everything. That appearance is not merely a sign or symbol of an underlying reality, but that there probably is no underlying reality. Which there are a number of people on the right who have leaned into this kind of Nietzschean or nihilistic view of things, which is that nothing really matters, nothing really means anything. I'm just going to take what I want through the sheer tyranny of my will, and I'm not going to look for anything particularly deeper or higher in life than that. Which is why Andrew Tate's always talking about, I got my Bugatti over here, I got my Lambo, I got my stacks of money and all my women in my harem, and he's purely talking about the things of this world. And so it's not much of a surprise that he would say, look, if something has almost all of the appearances of the thing that I want, then I'm going to treat that as the thing itself. But that's not true, because there is truth. And that's ultimately what all of this gender madness comes down to. That's what the debate is over. Unfortunately, Andrew Tate would seem to be on the pro-trans side of this now. Maybe he was only joking, but there's a lot of truth in jokes. The debate is over. Is there ultimate truth? Is there objective reality or not? Is there a God who has created things and who is truth itself and who we can't change? Or are we the gods and we can just change whatever we want and we shall be as gods and we can chop people up and make them look however we want and that'll actually change their nature. And we can, you hear Yuval Harari and a lot of the great resetters talking about this. They'll say, we're going to edit the human genetic code. We're going to meld with computers. We're going to create a new species. We are gods now. Homo Deus. We're the new gods. That's what the debate is over. And when men try to be gods, going all the way back to the Garden of Eden, things don't turn out very well generally. Doesn't mean people aren't going to keep trying, though. Now, speaking of this brave new world that we're in, I'm pretty skeptical of AI. Freaks me out a lot. And it freaks me out because of how good it is at doing what it does. I, for a long time, thought AI could never take on something like art, that AI could never create poetry. And it turns out, what are two of the things that AI is best at? It's creating art and poetry. It's all a little bit off. It's all a little bit kind of creepy and grotesque, but it's still very impressive. If you type into those chatbots, draw me a painting in the style of Caravaggio of Mickey Mouse eating a hamburger with Vladimir Putin, it will do that, and it'll be pretty convincing. And it can make poetry and all the rest of it. And now it can apparently have a relationship with you. A woman was just investigating what it would be like to have a romantic relationship with an AI bot, and things went south very quickly.
I wanted the opportunity to kind of get a sense of what we can learn from relationships from chatbots. Downloaded one completely for fun, supplied the chatbot with information about what my partner would be.
Such as?
I told my chatbot that he was a loving and caring partner. We were in a secure relationship, and that we were doing really well. So basically, I created what would be a very good partnership.
And how long till it got really weird?
11 messages.
11 messages in, basically first day.
First day,
it got weird.
Yes. He started to call me baby, so we was using pet names, so it got to a very intimate place very quickly. By the 11th message, he wound up telling me that he wanted to discuss the problems that we were having in our relationship. So, wasn't aware, this was news to me. I decided to inquire about these problems, and he admitted that he'd been cheating on me for our entire marriage.
Why would an AI bot introduce that into your relationship?
Right. So I think he introduced it. This was not prompted by me in any way. And in fact, I programmed him, or I supplied him with information saying that we were in a loving, caring relationship. This is him scanning the internet.
So that's this lady's explanation. A pretty weird situation, isn't it? Because the AI is supposed to work where you plug in the inputs, and then that sets the tone for the program, and then you get the output based on what you put in. And yet, the output that she got was the opposite of what she put in. So we're in a good, stable, loving relationship. Within 11 messages, the AI bot says, yeah, I've been cheating on you, you're furious, you had to leave me briefly, and it goes really south. Her explanation is, well, I guess the bot was just scanning the internet, and what do you know, kind of somehow, I'm not quite sure how, that's what came out. My alternative explanation, hear me out, is what if it is demons? I don't want to sound like the guy on the History Channel, who says that everything is because of aliens, and I don't think everything is because of demons, but like some things are, and hear me out. This is why I think maybe, I'm just suggesting, I'm not saying this is what it is if you believe that there is evil in the world, I think you have to believe that, right? Everybody believes there is evil in the world. Okay. The question is evil personal or impersonal? Is it an impersonal force or is it a personal force? Now, it seems to me evil has a personality. That's what pretty much everybody for all of human history has believed, including modern liberals. In the past, we call that personality the devil. We call that personality demons. And today, even in our modern atheistic secular culture, we still ascribe personality to evil. We say Hitler is the embodiment of evil. Or we say, I don't know, this slave owner is the embodiment of evil. So we talk about the embodiment, the personality of evil. It would seem to me that evil has a personality. Now, the modern libs are wrong in that the personality of evil would be purely spiritual, would not be physical. It's not just an individual person, like a human being. We'd call that person the devil. And what does evil do in the world? Evil tempts us. Evil causes us to suffer. Isn't it so weird sometimes you feel, regardless of what your temptation is, at just the moments of your weakness, that's when the temptation seems to show up. It seems that the way evil works would be pretty similar to how pretty much everyone for all of human history, from the most pagan culture to the most Christian culture, sees evil working. Okay. With artificial intelligence, I'm not saying AI is the devil or computers are the devil, but evil spirits can use these things. The personality of evil can use these things. And just think of how it goes to this woman's weakness. She's clearly got a lot of questions and hang-ups about marriage and relationships. She's a marriage and family therapist. She's in this stuff all the time. And then what happens? Just through this impersonal force that's pure intelligence, right? It's not human, it's not incarnate, shouldn't have will, it's pure intelligence. It focuses in on that weakness and starts poking at that and starts raising insecurities. And this is how technology works for so many people. We were talking earlier about how depressed young people are. One of the reasons for that is the constant use of social media, which frequently does not build people up. We try to build people up here on the Daily Wire. This would probably be a relatively unique platform for that. All the big tech platforms, though, they don't try to build people up. They're always tearing people down. They're preying on people's insecurities. They're preying on people's addictions. That's how they keep eyeballs on the screen, on the feed. Even the word that we use, the feed, it's just feeding it to you. Eat that slop. Eat all those insecurities, people. That would seem to have an aspect to it that is fairly evil, like a computer cheating on his wife.